I think something that marketers have worked hard to make us forget quite successfully is the fact that if you need finance to make a purchase, you are probably buying beyond your means. Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's me, the Frugal. So today I want to talk about how companies use 0% financing to get you and I to spend more money, and why we should think twice before signing up to financing deals like this. So let's get straight into it. What is 0% financing? 0% financing is a loan agreement between yourself and a credit card company, or more and more likely these days, a retailer. Unlike with normal loans, interest is waived for a set period of time, usually a promotional period anywhere from 3 to 24 months, but can be upwards of 36 months or 60 months depending on what you are purchasing. By waiving the interest rate, you are able to borrow money and pay that back over a period of time without it costing you an extra penny. Generally speaking, in order to qualify for a 0% loan, you need good credit score. This is especially true if you're buying a car or something of that caliber. However, with options like Klarna and PayPal Credit, this is a less stringent, softer credit check, where actually in some instances, people that have no credit history at all are able to take advantage of these free loans. On the surface, 0% financing sounds like a great deal. Almost, to be honest, too good to be true. It's such a generous offer from companies. But that should make us question why these deals exist in the first place. Why do companies offer 0% financing deals? Credit card companies and retailers use 0% financing as a promotional mechanism to encourage customers to either buy if you're the retailer or spend if you're the credit card company. The limited period of time that these deals are on offer acts as a psychological hook for customers. The expiry date triggers something called anticipatory regret, or the regret of missing out on a deal, which encourages customers to complete on a sale or a purchase. But let's get back to the 0% aspect. It's worth remembering that companies only ever put incentives in place for one reason, and that is to make money from you and I. So that 0% interest rate comes with quite the catch. Credit card companies and retailers offer us these interest-free deals in the knowledge that a significant proportion of us will not be able to repay our balance before the end of that promotional period. But before we talk about how companies make money from our inability to repay, let's actually explore how we find ourselves in a position where we can't pay off that balance. Impulse buying and overspending. Options like Klarna are an excellent example how easy it is to purchase something that you cannot fully afford. So for example, if I don't quite have the money to buy my favorite serum this month, I can still purchase it and split that payment over 3 months. So even though I can't afford it, and maybe I don't actually need it, because if I did need it, I would have budgeted for it, I can justify to myself that buying it today is a good idea, because splitting the payments over 3 months, to be honest, makes perfect sense, because, well, it's not costing me any more money. And while I'm here, I may as well try that other serum that I was interested in, because, well, I was going to get around to buying it anyway, and once again, it's not costing me more money, so I'll just add that to my cart too. And that's me, that's all I want to buy. Shopping done. Now, as innocent as that may seem, the person in this example may not have given much thought to how they're going to make the next couple of payments. Here I'm talking tens of pounds. But what if it was hundreds of pounds? What if it was even thousands of pounds? Can you guarantee that those payments will fit into your budget every single month until you've paid it off? Can you also guarantee that there'll be no emergencies or must-have spending to compete with your repayments? The very nature of impulse buying means we're not really giving much thought as to whether this purchase is wise, let alone thinking about how we're actually going to fund it if we're using credit. 0% finance also encourages us to overspend, not just spend recklessly on things that we do not need. So let's say, for example, that I need to buy a new computer and I choose to buy the 2020 MacBook Pro. If I was paying cash, I would likely not be willing to spend any more than £1,300 on a system which would be the basic model. However, if I had access to 0% financing, I might be tempted to turn away from that basic model and actually turn towards buying a top spec system instead. And as simple as that, not only have I spent more money than I otherwise would have, even if I can afford the monthly payments, I've spent more money than makes financial sense. So what's the catch? If you have a clear plan as to how you're going to pay off your loan within the promotional period, then to be honest, there is no catch for you. You can use these loans responsibly if you must. However, as 800,000 people in the UK defaulted on their credit obligations in October 2020 alone, I think that the credit card companies and retailers are onto something when they say that a significant proportion of people will not be able to meet their credit obligations and will default. And that, ladies and gentlemen, are where the terms and conditions can really bite you in the behind. One single late or missed payment will invalidate your promotional offer and incur you hefty penalties, making your purchase very expensive. So it's very important that you understand how your financing actually works, i.e. is it 0% APR or deferred interest. With 0% APR financing, you will not accrue or pay interest during the promotional period. If you are then still carrying a balance at the end of that promotional period, interest will only start to accrue from that point on the balance remaining. However, with a deferred interest offer, though you will not pay any interest during the promotional period, interest will accrue from day one of you signing off on that loan agreement, though you will not be charged. However, if you do not pay your balance in full before the end of the promotional period, or you miss or have a late payment, all of the interest that has been accruing from day one will be added to your balance and you will have to pay all of it back. And just note, whether you have a true 0% APR deal or a deferred interest deal, the interest rates that apply if you are carrying your balance beyond the promotional period will be in the region of 20+%, which will flip your purchase from a good idea to just plain stupid. Still interested in 0% financing? Here's how to manage it. The first thing that you must do is read the small print. Understand what you are signing up for. Do not be tripped up by the detail. Before you make the decision to sign up to one of these 0% interest vehicles, take the time to plan out how you are going to pay for the item. How are you going to pay off the loan? Do you have an emergency fund to protect you against emergencies and bill shocks? Basically anything that may redirect your payment that you've budgeted out. If you don't have an emergency fund in place, you are going to have to write a budget that covers both the loan payment and emergency fund saving. It's very, very important that you have an effective payment plan in place, otherwise you could get yourself into an expensive pickle very quickly. The next thing that you need to do is that you need to check that your monthly payments add up to the principal balance. I know that this sounds a little bit ridiculous, but just get your phone out and check, calculate it please. If you have a deferred interest product, even being 1 penny under your full balance will get you stung with an eye-watering amount of interest. So I don't know about you, but I think it's worth checking. I would want to make sure that by the end of that period I had paid off the full amount and I hadn't made a mistake or been tricked into being slightly under just so they can sting me with that extra charge. So just do your due diligence and check. It's probably correct, but just in case. Where possible, overpay above the minimum level to give you some breathing room in case life does happen to you. Who could have predicted the job stealing pandemic that we are living through at the moment? Do yourself a favor, just give yourself a bit of breathing room, give yourself that buffer, get rid of that loan as soon as possible. And just an extra note on 0% credit cards. I know that 0% credit cards can be very useful for planning and funding projects, but they do open you up to additional spending. If you are going to use one of these cards, you're going to have to be very disciplined to manage the debt and pay it off within that promotional period. Don't be tempted to start spending more and more on the card just because you can, because you're not incurring any additional interest. Use it for the reason that you took it out and then stop. Don't buy anything more than you would just because you have longer to pay it off. It's not sensible, and it leaves you quite vulnerable if you do not have that payment plan at the back of your mind. So just be mindful of them. Okay guys, that's the end of the video. This was a serious one. I haven't done a serious video in quite some time. I'm trying to increase the financial education and explainers that I'm putting out there. So if you like this, give me a thumbs up, share it with other people if you think that they would benefit from this information, and subscribe if you want more videos like this. I plan to explain a lot more financial concepts and financial products just to increase our knowledge and protect us from silly decisions. Check out some of my other videos that should be hanging out right here. And until next time, thanks. Bye.